Welcome back to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today, we are sponsored by Vehement Visuals, which is my video production company that I'm wearing the shirt for right now. I like wearing it when I do the episode because I can pull it back like I'm Superman, and it's really cool. So Vehement Visuals, what we do is we create videos for businesses to really help tell their story and really help automate certain processes within their business. And that's the main thing we do. We do other video services as well, but that's what we mainly focus on. And that's Vehement Visuals. So the second sponsor for today is Colorado Springs Business Podcast. If you'd like me to read a 15-second to a minute-long ad script at the beginning of every episode about your business, then we can make that happen. Reach out to cosbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. And the third sponsor is, I see you going every time. You're like,
all right, is my time? Am I on? I'm on.
No, yeah, now you're on.
All right.
But not yet.
Not yet.
All right. So the third sponsor is promotion of the Patreon account for this show. We have a Patreon, which allows us to help monetize the show and help people show their support. And also we have bonus content on that Patreon account. So it's not just like pay a certain amount and it's just a donation, because I really wanted to strive away from making it feel like a donation. I wanted to provide actual value. So there's bonus content on there. There's another tier where you get extra stuff, and I'm trying to really work out the I haven't really been focusing on that much, but one of the bonus contents is going to be once a month. I'm going to recap all 20 guests from every episode from that entire month. And so yeah, that's the Patreon account. So now I'm going to introduce the guests. Today we have on Adam Oliver. And tell us in a sentence or two what you do. And actually, before that, I would like to say Adam's on the switches. He brought some switch technology that the Colorado Springs Business Podcast hasn't seen before. So
yeah, so I'm actually I'm a video producer myself, and I really appreciate Andrew with Vehement having me on, because obviously most people would see us as, hey, they're competitors, they're probably not going to work together, but in reality, we were provided with an opportunity to collaborate. And
yes,
this podcast is a great example. I mean, audio's got, we've got the setup here with Vehement. We have audio, we have the studio, and I may bring in some extra video equipment that can switch to, say, my camera or Andrew's camera. So this, what I'm saying is, we can use stuff like this and opportunities like this to create the best of both worlds. I bring in a lot more video stuff. Andrew will bring in a lot more audio stuff in any situation. I feel like a lot of people we see our competitors as threats, and even the term competitor, I feel like brings that,
has a connotation.
Yeah,
to
it has
a
connotation. People think, oh, I have competitors. I don't really see most other videographers. I don't see them as competitors, because I realize more than that, they're opportunities for me to grow and for me to help them grow. There's so much business here. Anyway, more about me, because I didn't even go into what I do. I produce marketing videos for my clients' websites and social media. A lot of talking head stuff, but I've done more branded stuff. Anywhere from personal videos from people updating their clients and informing them on important need to know information, to full production broadcast on TV. I've done all of that. So I've also done a lot on YouTube in my past, and I'm pretty sure I told you when we first met, Andrew, like I used to have a pretty high-end YouTube channel. We had, I think right now it's got 600,000 subscribers, and I think there's,
holy wow,
yeah, all cumulative on all the videos, there's over 200 million views. So we had a lot of success on that early on, and that's kind of what brought me into where I am today.
That is awesome. I can't wait to get into that in this episode. So I'm actually going to hit a button too and going to roll the intro music. This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. All right. So Adam, how's it been?
It's been good. I've been so busy, and there's so much I've been doing. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah. That's cool. So I want to jump straight into that YouTube stuff, because that's actually why I got into video production, and I've struggled with growing a channel. It's been very hard. I've tried to grow multiple channels, and so I would like to learn, I guess, from what do you think has been some of your success with that?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into YouTube, and YouTube is always changing. We see we see the algorithms change. We see how monetization works. That just changed in 2019 very drastically to cut out a lot of businesses and a lot of people who
in
were
2017 was when like they first really changed it drastically.
Yeah, so in 2017 they opened it up to everybody, right? Like everybody, anyone can monetize. And then in 2019 they realized a lot of people are creating videos for the sake of monetizing instead of to create good videos. They're seeing a lot of poor content coming out, and that's why I think in 2019 they said, okay, only those who have the viewership should be those that monetize. So you earn it.
That was actually what happened in 2017. Actually, they opened it up the monetization for everyone. I think around like 2012.
Okay.
And like you could actually have a channel with no subscribers, no views, and then like around 2017 is when you had to have like 10,000 something.
10,000 hours, I think, in a month or something like that.
Yeah. And then like that's when the ad, they called it the adpocalypse, happened in 2017. Because that's when a lot of people who had monetization, they took out anyone who had profanity on their stuff. People were making thousands of dollars on their videos, and then they went to making like $37 on their video.
So I think that was also the transition with the kid safe stuff. So so they wanted to get rid of and I actually, the subject of my channel was Nerf action videos,
which is kid safe.
So yeah, there was a lot. Anyone who makes content directly for kids. In 2017, this AdGate, this horrible thing that happened was all these people who made stuff that might be marketed towards kids could no longer do targeted advertising, and that really locked them down. So there's been several different revisions in YouTube's ways. So what brought me my success on YouTube may not necessarily be still applicable, but I'll talk about it because I do think it's valuable. Just like switching cameras because I don't want to keep it stale. But so when we started, I think the biggest thing for us is we had a big niche. We had a really good niche. Nerf action videos. I mean, who would have thought of that? There were only a couple people out there creating it. In fact, I think we have like number 2 or 3, the highest viewed Nerf action video out there. And that's cool. That's our video that has 130. I think it's 138 million views right now. We have a bunch of videos with over 1 million views, but that one was the one that just like skyrocketed.
And what were these videos, the content like? Was it reviews or was it like story narratives?
So we did a lot of stuff. So the action videos was like a series. It was like a narrative series where it was actually like a well-produced series. We also did Nerf gun reviews. We also did Nerf gun modification videos. We also talked. We sat at a table kind of like this, where we're across table, and we would talk about the content and the updates in the Nerf world and what we were doing as a channel and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. So we created a lot of different content. But I think that one of the bigger things that helped us in the long run succeed with air quotes was that we created content regularly. And this is what today I'm always trying to. I should probably mute my phone too.
Yes, good idea.
I'm always telling businesses like, you can't do a one-off. Like if you're trying to market yourself, it's not. There's very few marketing campaigns that work as like a short game. It's almost always a long game.
Yes.
It's almost always you need to create something that that's recurring or something that you can renew. And it's not just one video. Everyone's like, I want that one video. I want. They call it an intro video. Sometimes I'll call it a brand video. I know you call it video business card. Like that, it's super helpful, right? These videos are really powerful, and they really empower people, and people love them. But the issue I've found is people stop there and think that that's all they need to succeed. When in reality, it's very rare that you can succeed with one video. I mean, you see viral videos come out all the time, but that's it's not common. It's not likely to happen. The people.
Well, you don't even have to have a viral video for it to be successcul.
Exactly.
All it has to do is have a good ROI.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about like real estate videos. I do a lot of real estate stuff too, and I'm used to seeing hundreds of thousands or millions of views.
Right?
Yeah, we're recording here. See, that says
for
recording.
some reason, I was just like paranoid about that.
I'm used to seeing all these views. I work with real estate agents, and they do a property listing video, and they get 1,000 views,
maybe
and they're
even
like,
a few hundred,
or even a few hundred, and they're like, this is great. This is exactly what I need. It brought me the clients I needed. The ROI is perfect. Like, I've had houses that sold that I did properties for in like a day or two, and they only got like 100 views. And I'm like, well, I put all this work into a video for 100 views, and it was worth it. even though
For sure.
it's nothing like the 100 million views that I might get on YouTube.
Yeah, and
so.
that video business card is actually different than an intro video. There's a formulaic aspect to it, but there's also strategy behind it that you use it as an asset. You don't just drop it and expect it to do like it can do certain things and automate certain processes, but there's certain strategies that you can use with it that help it get that ROI essentially. Yeah, that's the main thing I focus on is the results of the video.
Yeah, and I think in terms of YouTube, talking about like how to get success is
in terms of YouTube.
a big thing where I've had a lot of people say I don't want to sound, it sounds weird, but I want what you've got, or I want that high viewership. I want to be viral, and I feel like that mindset alone defeats a lot of people's efforts because they don't realize how much work we put into our products before we ever had good viewership, and especially before we ever got a dime out of it. Like we eventually monetized and made some good money off of our YouTube stuff, but it took 5 years. Yeah, it took a long time before we started making good money off
5
of
years
it.
of
consistency. And the only reason we were able to keep that up is because we were passionate about what we were doing. Is because we really we loved the subject, we loved our viewership, we were into it. It had nothing to do with the results mindset. Like we didn't care how well the videos did at first, and that's why they did so well, because it wasn't about numbers. YouTube can't be about numbers, or you're not going to get the numbers unless you're paying exorbitant amounts of money to get that viewership in and monetizing and sponsoring it and all this crazy stuff. If you're looking for organic growth, you have to have passion.
There has to be, or you're gonna give up, really quickly, because it's a lot of work. I've had a lot of passion with my YouTube channels, and but they just never really took off. And what's that moment when it happened? The first video that really took off. How did that feel? What did that look like? What did the numbers too exactly?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So our first video that actually went well wasn't actually that Nerf action series. That one picked up later. The first video we ever did that was really good is we did a comparison. People love comparison videos. When you compare two products of any type, people love it. I don't know why it's that way. I mean, we could compare our two phones, two Android smartphones, and people are like, "Oh, it's great." So we compared. I'm gonna get Nerf nerdy on you. The Vulcan EBF-25, which is a belt-fed Nerf gun, versus the Stampede ECS, which is a mag-fed gun. So essentially, they're two of the biggest Nerf guns that were around. Like you spend a huge amount of money for Nerf is like $70-$80 on these guns. So we compared these really two big guns, and we just walked through it step by step. I go back and watch that video. It's funny. It doesn't it's the production quality is not what I would like today, and we were kids. Yeah. But people wanted to see it. So that was our first video to hit 100,000 views. And I remember around that time YouTube reached out to us and was talking about, requested that we start monetizing our stuff. And that was huge for us. It's like, whoa. So that we can make money on it? Like, that's crazy.
That video, did it how did it look like when that took off? Was it overnight? Was it like, how did the numbers climb? I'm interested.
It climbed pretty quickly. I think it was in the first couple weeks that we noticed it was popular. It
started hitting.
I mean, this was like 8 years ago. So I'm trying to recollect like in my mind, because that wasn't even our biggest video. But I remember being surprised at how big it was, and I think it was within a month that it had outperformed all of our other videos, and it was in that 100,000 mark. And then and then we had YouTube reach out to us on that, so we started monetization. And I don't know if you know much about YouTube monetization because they have it all locked down now, but there's a threshold that you reach with Google AdSense. So once you collect or accumulate $100, they'll pay you
a payout.
Yeah. So the payout's $100. So I think it took us a couple months to get that payout, so we weren't making anything.
And it was like $100.
But it was like $100. And I remember the realization we had. It was like, oh my gosh, we can feed our crew pizza while we're filming. Like we may even be able to buy like a microphone or something. Like it was crazy for us. Yeah. But that was like the unveiling of like this potential that we have in front of us. That was really, really cool.
And one good way to monetize your YouTube channel is merch. Did you guys delve into that at all?
We had a lot of people, and my dad especially was like, you gotta make shirts and t-shirts.
You could even have like Nerf merch.
So we made the only thing we did is made stickers, and On our news segment, when we talked kind of like this format, talked to our audience about what was going on, we read fan mail. So we'd read fan mail and send them stickers, but we never actually went and bought merch. And I think it was a weak point. And I if I would have done it again, or if I would do something like that again, then merch would definitely be a big part. But even today, I don't have my own merch.
You can even. Well, I mean, is your channel still popping? Is it still? I'm sure it has some residual stuff.
It has. Oh yeah, it still has some stuff coming out of it, but we don't produce content on it anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a few years since we even uploaded anything.
Yeah. So I mean, you probably could revive it if you wanted to.
If I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think it follows that whole thing with a passion.
Yeah.
Keep going to you instead of me on this switcher. Like I start talking and then I go to your face and I confuse everyone probably.
Well, hopefully now they know.
Yeah. So it goes with the passion thing to where I am now so passionate about what I'm doing and creating content for businesses and helping them grow and realize the potential that they never saw before. And I love equipment. And I love collecting equipment and all this stuff. Nerf is something from my past.
Yeah.
And I could revive it. And people always say, well, why don't you start back up? Why don't you, there's money there.
Yeah.
I could. I know I could. I could sell it. I could do a lot of stuff with it, but I'm not passionate about it. So
you should sell it then.
I've had people make me offers.
Yeah.
I've had people make me offers. And I'm like, I feel like an alliance to my old audience, and I wouldn't want to.
What's his name? Ray Jr. Something.
Ray William Johnson.
Ray William Johnson. He sold his, and his channel died.
Yeah. Exactly. and I'm pretty confident that would happen.
Yeah.
We've talked about obviously not doing any of the Nerf like reviews or modification videos or any stuff like that. But we've me and my brother were partners on this the YouTube stuff. But we've talked a lot about relaunching at least to finish one of the series that we had started. We had a much higher end series. We called it The Trigger, and it was like. It's like Jason Bourne-esque, like really actually high-end, well-produced action videos. And what was weird about it, it didn't perform as well as our old stuff, but it was really interesting in that it's like people would see it and it's like it's like this, why does this have a Nerf gun in it? Like it doesn't make sense. Like this looks like something you'd see in a movie theater, but it's got Nerf guns. And it was just confusing for people. And it was fun producing something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And that is fun. And like the last series that I did for a YouTube channel I was doing before I started Vehement Visuals was this nature show. And every month I would write a screenplay and release one video a month. I would write the screenplay and then we'd film it. But there's also there's a narrative piece that's intertwined with 3 subjects. Like one was because it's about nature and some in nature, like that subject. If you get philosophical about it, you can put anything in that. Yeah. So it's like, that's true. So one episode was like this narrative story where like I had this like weird mutation where I didn't have to sleep for like 2 weeks at a time, and then I'd crash out for like a week, and I was like it was just playing around with the narrative of that.
That's fun. And
then my friend and I was gonna try out figuring out how to not eat, and then my friend like he died in front of me, and then I had this and it's in the story, but he died in front of me in the story, not in real life. But
yeah, of course.
And he died choking on food, and that's why I had a passion to eradicate eating.
Nice. It seems like a supervillain type thing.
Yeah. And then like between like the narratives, there's three informational pieces of content where I'm just talking to the camera and like have stuff popping up or even B-roll just rolling through it. And like I have like I would write an essay essentially for each subject. So for that episode, the 3 subjects were sleeping, eating, and pooping.
Nice.
And I would talk about like in those subjects, like the different kinds of excrements that different animals leave, the different kind of sleep patterns that animals have. Like dolphins have unihemispheric sleep, meaning that when they're sleeping, half of their brain, like their left half of the brain, will be on and like. And then it will rotate.
Really? Wow.
Because they're in water, so like their brains like have to be half awake.
Active. Yeah.
So like they get sleep that way, which is weird, and that's really cool. But
so you do some education stuff.
Yeah.
What was your old YouTube channel? What was it called? Was it Hasley?
There's the Hasley one.
I saw that one.
The Andrew Hasley one, but that one had like just weird stuff, some weird vlogs, some a lot of cringy stuff.
A lot of my old stuff's really cringy too.
and then the Snap De La Nature was the nature show. And
What is it? Snap De La Nature?
Snap De La
De La Nature.
And
De La. Yeah,
like of the
nature. Yeah.
Snap of the nature.
Nice.
And I noticed recently had a few more subscribers out of nowhere. I just noticed it like a couple days ago or yesterday, I think. And like it had like 40 something and now has like 51. And I'm like, ooh, something's happening.
Wow.
And then I went on it and just to check it out, and I seen this comment 3 months ago. He was like, "You literally have the best YouTube channel. I wish you still posted." So that really made my day. It's like,
oh man, yeah, I get that too. I see that on our old stuff. It's like, and it kind of makes you wanna relaunch it, maybe go back to it.
It does make you, but it's like I'm focused on if I did that, I'd
you have the same thing as me. You're passionate about this right now, right here, right now. I mean, going back is just that. It's going back. It's going in reverse. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Hasley, the Hasley podcast was similar to this show, and it's where I would interview hip hop artists 5 days a week. But I would batch record some of the episodes. Some days I would do 3 episodes. And I would interview hip hop artists virtually. It's about 2017, like all over the world, talking to Swedish rappers, people in the UK, people in Australia, people and a lot of people in LA because there's a lot of artists out there.
Yeah.
And some of the artists I have on, like some of them were making good amount of money. Some of them are popping right now. One of them was like at the PewDiePie's. He was on like at the beginning and at the end of like PewDiePie's stuff. Because what he would do is he would write little rap jingles for YouTubers. That was like one of like his ways of making money.
Oh really? Wow.
At first, but then he started popping, and you might know him. I don't know if you listen to rap or anything, but Jake Hill.
Jake Hill.
Yeah,
I've not heard of him.
Yeah. And he's just been popping, doing like getting I think it's close to almost 1 million monthly plays on Spotify.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which is like I don't know, around $5,000 a month just on that.
That's big. Yeah.
Maybe even more than that. I haven't done the math in a while, and it may have changed, but
it's always interesting to me that like the difference in viewer counts, because you have obviously, YouTube's kind of a standard that people base it off of, like 1 million views is a lot of views. You have Instagram,
but Spotify has an exact thing.
Yeah. So you have Instagram, which is like you see a lot more views, and you have all sorts of different apps like Spotify. It's like, so what is 1 million views for Spotify? Is it like YouTube, or is it like Instagram, and then you have what's that horrible app that everybody uses
TikTok?
now? TikTok. You can tell I'm not modernized in some video.
It's hilarious that I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah,
though.
because of the way I described it, right? Yeah. And like 1 million views on TikTok isn't actually that much, right?
It isn't that much, but if you are able to siphon that attention, then it can be. It's really what you do with the attention is where the money comes from, I think.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with like real estate, like 100 views. That's a lot.
Yeah,
it can be a lot for a real estate video.
Exactly. Yeah. It goes exactly back, and it also goes with even any video, like the video business card. If only 100 views, if it only got 100 views and one of those views converted, then boom, like
typically that pays for the product, right?
Yeah. But typically that's not what I want people to get an ROI, not just to break even.
Exactly. But I mean, that's something that I often use to talk to my clients. It's like they don't realize, hey, if this gets you 10 solid leads, then you're paid for, and then suddenly like everything thereafter is profit, and that's not hard to achieve.
Not at all.
Like I've been reading a lot of stats for videos. That's something I do all the time. But like I think 91 or 94% of people get a positive ROI off of a video investment, a video marketing campaign investment.
That's awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that surprised me because I know a lot of campaigns don't work, and not everybody's great at creating campaigns.
Exactly.
So you'd expect the number to be lower, but the fact is, most marketing dollars spent on video is positive.
It's worth it.
Great. Which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the reason why it's a good industry to be in. And I know I think it was already a good industry to be in, but COVID kind of accelerated that, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you can't exist in today's marketplace without putting yourself out with video. I mean, it was interesting and I don't like talking about COVID, but just on that note real quick, like seeing how many businesses who had infrastructure, who had videos, who knew how to market themselves on social media, they thrived in COVID, and those who didn't, who weren't using video, you just didn't hear from them. They disappeared.
Yeah.
They're off the face of the map,
For sure.
which is kind of scary, and that's I think what both of us, trying to bring awareness to people with the importance of video is huge. Like awareness is half the battle. Once people know what that video is so important.
Well, a lot of people know it, but it's the convincing it. It's like a lot of people have they hear that, they know that, because it's more common now hearing that. But it's weird because they don't believe it though. So it's by, I guess, convincing them to believe it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's convincing people is not an easy game by any means. So I just made. Did you see how smooth that was? I just made an adjustment to your framing without anyone knowing.
Oh, nice. But yeah, for sure, it's like I'll never try to sell the unsellable because that's just a waste of time. So it's like I'm not gonna try to convince you for real for the most part, because usually it can speak for itself. And so I mean, there is a little bit of selling, of course, you got to do, and with that's just how business works. But I'm never gonna try to sell this. Someone's like, nope, I don't want it. Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Someone else. Sometimes it's sad when they say that because you know that what you could do for them is gonna help them, and so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So what do you feel like is the biggest issue we run into as videographers?
Are you switching this on?
No, I'm just
kidding.
I'm just trying to keep the conversation moving because I'm curious. Like,
no, I get it.
Like I realize like in my business, collaboration is hard with other videographers because we talked about the whole competitor thing. Do you feel like you see that a lot?
See what?
The issues running into other videographers and not wanting to work with you.
What do you mean work with you?
Like collaborate, like stuff like this.
I don't see that a lot, actually. I mean,
maybe it's just a personal problem.
I mean, I've met. I mean, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding the question.
Yeah.
I've met with videographers. I've also never really tried to work with on a project. So I mean, I've never really. I just haven't had that come. It's also like it's just never been. It's never made sense yet. There's never been the right time and place for that.
Opportunity. That makes sense. I just feel like in my I haven't collaborated with very many other videographers as well, and I feel like it's because there's people who don't want to. They're kind of afraid of losing a part of the pot. When in reality, you know as well as I do that there's so much opportunity here, especially in Colorado Springs. Like there are hundreds and hundreds of businesses that have never ever marketed themselves with video that would just do so well if they did, and they don't realize it.
And some businesses, they might not even be right. Maybe someone just likes you better than they like me, or vice versa. You know, like,
that's fine. Yeah, and I think that's another thing too. Like there's different fits for different businesses, and that makes total sense. I mean, I've had people choose me over others, or vice versa, just because they like the person. Like that's fine. Like and I feel like there's a connotation around this phrase, but there is plenty of business to go around for videographers. And I feel like that's especially here in the Springs because we have a lot of people who are behind in times with the marketing. We have a lot. Our battle isn't each other. Our battle is trying to educate and teach people the importance of video.
Yeah, collaborating on that piece will be, I think, is important. But I understand how it can be scary though.
Like a lot of people.
For a lot of people, or for. It's just getting over that and changing that mindset into the abundance mindset and not the scarcity mindset. Like, oh, if he gets this, then it affects me. Or if like understanding and like being in business, I guess, long enough to fill your pipeline as well, too, kind of can help with that. And I guess a lot of videographers, the kind of videos, like a lot of videographers, the businesses that we are creating at least, are kind of new in a way. They've like the ones for businesses and stuff like that. So it's a lot of people are just videographers. Oh, we already hit 30 minutes.
Yeah, I did not realize. That's not something good to show on the thing. You just cut this part out, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Usually I finish the sentence.
I think you kind of finished it.
Okay. I get distracted though. Is it going?
It's going now. Yep. You're rolling. Man, if they didn't have that limitation.
Yeah. Do you know why they do that? I looked into it. I read a whole bunch of articles.
Yeah, it's because something in UK or there's some European rule for filming.
It used to be because the cameras would overheat, but then the technology got better, and then if a camera records past 30 minutes, it's classified as a video camera, and the tax rate is different.
Yeah.
So that's actually technically a photo camera, but it's a DSLR though. So
yeah,
it's
so they dumbed down a bunch of cameras. Even this camera here that you're looking through now, that one has a 30-minute time limit too.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, for them to save money, and maybe even for their consumers to save money too. Like maybe that's where.
Yeah, it could make sense. I wonder what the difference is in the taxation anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, maybe it's not even that big. I don't know, but I mean, I guess if you're selling hundreds of cameras, then it probably adds up. Thousands of cameras actually.
Yeah.
And like YouTube and vlogging, when that hit, like DSLRs, like it accelerated the technology because there's more of a demand for it, and then that means there's more money, then there's more research, then there's more.
yeah. I feel like there's an interesting thing there too, because you have a lot of people getting into video production, and they like to make stylistic, good-looking videos, and they don't really understand the sales marketing side of video and creating a good story. Well, and you also have the other people. You have marketers or digital marketers who try their best to market themselves and market other people, and don't focus on trying to create a good picture or a good quality image. So you have both sides, and it's kind of hard to find someone in the middle who both will help structure a message that's convincing and works and is and
business-minded, focused.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually something I like to delineate. I'm not a videographer. Like a videographer is the one who knows, like, they look for that stylistic stuff. I'm a video producer or a production agency. That's what we are. And
just a marketing.
So I like to differentiate myself from that, because that can box me in a spot that I'm not trying to be boxed in. It's like
yeah, because we take two different roles and we together. So we try our best to create good content, like quality content, and I invest a lot in equipment and making it look good, but there's also that marketing aspect that people don't realize. Oftentimes a marketer will hire a videographer, and the marketer will handle all the marketing side, and the videographer will handle the art side. But like we do both.
Yes.
So it is hard to delineate. Well, is it about the art? Is it about the message, or both? And for us, obviously, it's about both. And it's kind of hard to compete sometimes with those who only do the video side, because they're able to cut their rate down because they don't do all that pre-work and all that market research on their companies and all that stuff, because they just want to create a pretty video.
For sure. Exactly.
And I like pretty videos.
Yeah, me too.
I create pretty videos, I like to think, but it doesn't stop there. Right?
And with now that everyone's creating videos, the need for a better quality video is actually more. Like COVID actually made the need for a higher quality video more relevant, because that's why this podcast needs to be an in-studio, in-person setup, because you see 100 Zoom podcasts now because of COVID. And it's saturated. And it's like, I didn't want this just to fall on the stream and looking like one of those, because it would just blend in, and I really wanted it to stand out. So
and I applaud you for putting production value into it, because I feel like a lot of people don't. Those Zoom podcasts, there's a lot of them, and this setup, having a studio with a backdrop with professional audio recording equipment, that's something that puts you so many steps above most other podcasts.
And
that I see
5 days a week.
Yeah.
No one's doing that.
No. Yeah, that's where you get a little insane. I wouldn't be doing 5 days a week. I don't know how you put food on the table.
It's the passion. It's the passion for it, and also the belief that I believe I could sell this podcast for $10 million.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
So that drives me.
Yeah.
Not right now, but and it also just seems unrealistic to a lot of people. But I have a true belief, like not even 10 million. That's just the number I threw out. But that is one of the things I have. But I do believe this podcast will potentially be more lucrative than even my video production company.
Which is awesome. And I'm excited to see it, because I see a lot of potential here. I mean, you're really helping businesses get out there, especially those who can't afford a huge marketing campaign. Being on a podcast, an opportunity like this is huge for a lot of people.
For sure.
Which is awesome. I definitely applaud.
It's providing that value back to the community. And it's interesting, the reason why I started the podcast was a brand awareness for my business, like a trickle-down, top-of-the-funnel brand awareness move, while also promoting other businesses. And then I realized like how fun and awesome and impactful it can be for businesses. And so it also just it helps my business, it helps other businesses, helps the community, helps people get to know the business owners in the community in a unique way that they never really been able to. And it's just really cool. And the 5 days a week thing, I knew that like was going to be the biggest variable of growth outside of any marketing, outside of anything, because every guest shares it with their network. So it's like 5 guests sharing it to 5 different networks and there may be overlaps in some of them, but everyone knows someone that someone else doesn't know, and maybe even 100 people that someone else doesn't know.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So
what are you gonna do with your $100 million or $10 million or whatever?
10 million, yes.
Yeah.
I
Buy
can
a
only
Lambo?
I can
What's
only
the plan?
demand 10 million because that's 10% of what Joe got, and I figured that's more
Okay,
feasible because he already did it. They're not going to do it that many more times because now that they've proven that.
When you get nationwide,
Yeah.
no problem.
No problem. I'm actually thinking it might be more realistic to get an exclusive deal with Facebook, only because they're not really playing in the podcast game really right now, but there's a lot of potential for Facebook, and that's actually the biggest platform that this podcast is on right now. Facebook consists of around 80% of the viewership, so it's like, and Facebook has Facebook Watch. So I think I could lock into Facebook if you hear this.
Ooh, yeah.
But actually, I don't want Facebook to hear this. I want them to think. I want everyone to think I'm an underdog at first, and then come out of nowhere and just like hit him with the 1-2.
You're already kind of coming out of nowhere. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. So no Lambo.
Oh, no Lambo.
Lambo? Okay.
I would probably invest a lot of it.
That's smart. That's a smart move to do.
And Lambos depreciate. Cars are a bad investment.
I know, but you see, I'm sure you've seen as I do, like the
YouTubers,
YouTubers who like as soon as they get that big check,
Yeah.
goes to some
Well,
ridiculous exotic sports car or
Yes,
something
and it's
crazy
ridiculous.
like that.
Yeah. But I want to go to the moon eventually. Not the moon. Probably the moon first.
Mars.
But Mars.
Yeah,
Yes.
like Musk. Ooh, you're gonna go with Musk?
Yes. Well, he's actually been one of the big inspirations for me on that, I think.
Oh, I love Elon
Yeah,
Musk. He's such a
and-
brilliant guy.
Yes, he's one of my favorites. And so I do want to go to the moon or the Mars one day, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So I got to really start investing and start working towards that.
They have a like a plan in place. Like I just saw the other day, like they had like this layout of exactly how and when they're gonna get to Mars with people. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. There's a moon mission actually for a moon base that's going to be by 2024.
Nice.
So they're going to have a moon base by 2024.
Do you want to go to the moon first from the Mars?
I don't know. It might be a good.
Might save a little while to get to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the moon is 230,000 miles away, on average, because it differentiates. Because it's in space and it moves.
Yeah.
but on average, as it's going around the Earth, it's about 230 miles away. So and the speed of light travels at 180,000 miles per second. So it takes about a second and a half to even get information between the moon and the Earth.
Wow.
It's interesting.
I mean, we're talking about niches earlier and how I got like the Nerf niche. If you're one of the first people on the moon and you bring your video camera,
yeah,
you will be the most viewed channel on YouTube.
No, for sure. And I was trying to figure out a plan so I can merge both Vehement Visuals and my moon mission, and somehow be like, I don't know. I had a plan. I completely forget it, but I could probably recreate it right now and have a whole different plan. But
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, I do plan on going to the moon. And I see you looking at your free oil change right there.
Yeah, I was just looking at all your merch here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We got some merch. I used to rock band shirts. Now I rock brand shirts.
Nice. I like it. I actually, I've been looking into, because I was talking about like how I don't do merch even still. So I'm about to make my very first venture into merch. And I didn't want to do things that everybody else does because I want to be unique, because I feel like my business is pretty unique. So I was going to do microfiber, cloths, and sticky cleans. Have you heard of sticky cleans?
Mm-mm.
So it's something that it's like a little sticker that you put on the back of your phone or your camera or whatever. And the other side is microfiber, so you can like use it to clean your screen.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on where does your audience
My
want
audience
that or need that?
My audience needs to clean their lenses before taking videos of themselves.
That's a good
desperately.
marketing
Yeah.
move. I like that.
That's my incentive. Like
I like that. That's
I see
cool.
blurry like images coming from their cameras. I'm like, you guys got to clean it. So
Yeah.
here's a microfiber cloth.
And what's cool is like with the Google phone, I'm pretty sure Apple probably does it too. But if your lens is dirty, it'll tell you to clean it. It prompts like a little notification that says, "Hey, your lens is dirty."
It's like you have dirty habits. You
Yeah.
need to clean up your life.
Yes.
Nice.
It'll usually do that, but I mean, I guess probably not always. But yeah, there's that little feature. I'm actually excited for the way that the phone cameras are going, and the day that they replace DSLRs, if they ever do.
Yeah, I mean, camera makers got to step up their game. I mean, Blackmagic just came out with a 12K camera. That's pretty insane. Like, I have no idea, like, how what they're gonna do next. 12K is just like
Overkill.
It's way overkill.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, they got to step up their game somewhere because DSLRs, apart from, I mean, audio is the one place where phones haven't really picked up. I mean, there's a little bit of a better improvement, but it's still way better to have a real microphone.
Yes.
I mean, they could very well replace DSLRs soon.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, for photos, if you're doing like professional photos, like nothing stands up to a good DSLR,
for sure.
a 5D4 or a 1DX2, like those cameras are gonna last a long time. And you get Samsung with their, what are they say 8K on their cameras. The K game is just kind of silly nowadays, trying to get as much resolution as possible.
It's like back when they were trying to. It has 24 megapixels.
Yeah, it was like whoa, like these megapixels don't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're doing with video now, and I think it's, very soon they're going to be over that, hopefully, because
I think some phones are actually already getting in the game of DSLR grade lenses. Like they have like a big hole in the phone where you can change your lenses. Like
I have seen
built
some of
into
those.
that.
Yeah, Samsung a little while back made it was like a modular cell phone.
Yes,
and it was like kind of weird because there's a giant cell phone. It's like over my camera right here is the Blackmagic Pocket. They call it a pocket cinema camera. And do you think you can fit that in your pocket?
Not
No
with all
way.
the extensions,
So
or even without the extensions.
Even without, that can't even fit in your pocket. So it's like you have to have a line between them. If they can improve phones and the sensors to a point where you don't need to have like a protruding lens, and get DSLR grade,
or even just
stuff,
like this much protruding, like
even if it's a little bit. I mean, I think I had an old HTC that was like 3 millimeters, and it got in the way. It was kind of weird. And then the bad thing is it scratches whatever it touches because it's sticking out. But yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, if they doubled the width, and then just like a case would go around it to make it all even, that could be one way. But that would be interesting if Blackmagic got into the phone game.
Like Red. Do you remember?
Red did.
The Red phone that just totally tanked.
I seen Marcus Brownlee. He I think reviewed that phone.
I don't think he uses it though. Nobody uses that phone.
It did tank.
Yeah.
It looks cool though.
Yeah, it's like nobody. Yeah, it's wrong market. People don't.
It's not there yet. Yeah, it's just not there. Maybe not yet or not ever. I don't know. But but yeah. So have we even talked about business much? I think we have.
I'm pretty sure there was some business talk in there. We talked about the need for videography. I mean, that's our business, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do video, and we do we just help people grow. We help people succeed. And
so how long have you been in business?
How long have I been in business? So I did the YouTube channel when I was, I'll just say 13, 14 years ago is when we started it. We did that for a good...
And you consider that one of your businesses?
Yeah, it turned into a business because by the end we were making money off of it. We were paying ourselves. We were on payroll from YouTube. From our,
nice.
I mean, our business, we were incorporated and we had payroll set.
Well, I look at YouTube as a business, especially if you can get over even just a 20K, you can turn it into a business. 20K subscribers. Yeah. But you had 600,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, quite a few. So that was our first business. But the video production business that I do today. I started about 5-6 years ago, and that was when I was getting a little burnt out of YouTube, just because we had 100 million views. It's like, what more are you going to accomplish on YouTube, right?
A billion views.
Billion. Oh, like what was the first video to get 1 billion views? It was
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So but yeah. So it was I think 20. I was 18, 19 years old when I started doing production work for businesses, and my family. We've always done a lot of small business. So, my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my uncles and aunts, they all own businesses. So there's a lot of business in the family. Nice. So I'd seen a really clean way to transition between, what I was doing, creating YouTube content to doing marketing, because marketing is like, I tell people, like, you can have a great product and bad marketing and it'll do poorly, or you could have a terrible product, like an absolutely horrible, pointless product.
Here in my
have
garage.
good marketing, great marketing, and it'll do well. Like the shake weight. Shake weights are garbage, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of things that get marketed that are just crap products.
And they're good marketed, but you see it in everyone's homes now because the marketing.
There's
is
a
so
lot
good.
of hip hop music that is like that right now.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I saw the need for good marketing. And I think it's a lot easier to learn sales and marketing than it is to learn to create good content, because I already had the skill to create quality stuff. So learning sales and marketing was a process. And I'm always learning, but I've been doing it for several years now, so I have a pretty good handle on what messages sell well. How to attract people with heartfelt stories and connecting with your audience, not over a fancy campaign, but by heart.
Yes.
And learning the meaning and value of people's businesses. So
stories sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what did that first year look like for you? Was it difficult? Was it?
I had a really smooth transition.
Okay.
Because YouTube works in a way where, when you stop making videos, the money doesn't stop immediately. So I was able to when we stopped doing the videos, we were still making some money coming in, and I was able to.
You had a comfort blanket, kind of.
I had a little comfort blanket, and I had a lot of equipment. So I went to school for a couple semesters at Pikes Peak before deciding it was a waste of time. But we did. I was in graphics design, of all things, and there was a little bit of marketing. I took a couple marketing classes, and I learned some stuff in those classes. But just networking and meeting with people. It was, I was homeschooled, kind of a socially awkward kid. I'm still a little awkward, but like I was like really shy, like super shy back then. And going to networking meetings, I had a friend who I met from it was a Bible study, actually, that I met this guy, and he invited me to a breakfast. It was called the Preferred Business Network Breakfast, the PBN, and they're actually still going. I remember my first commercial, my 30-second. It was the most awkward, uncomfortable. Like I was shaking. I'm like, I'm Adam with Adam Oliver videos.
Which is weird because you've been on YouTube before.
Yeah, but with YouTube, I have a camera and I get to edit it, and if I don't like the way it looks, I can do it again.
What was this? It was a commercial for you?
Yeah, so it was a networking group where you stand up and do a 30-second.
Oh, 30 seconds. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I remember the first time I did that too. Yeah.
So I did a probably 8-second commercial.
Yeah.
and it was really awkward, and people they're like concerned for me or something. But yeah, so that was going into it. It was very uncomfortable.
Was it a BNI?
No, it wasn't a BNI. I'm actually in a BNI now.
Actually, you said what it was, didn't you?
It was Preferred Business Network. It was a PBN. They meet online now.
Okay.
And I think it's free right now, but it used to be like $10 a month, and it was a monthly group, and they'd meet in various places. It was a really good group. I really liked that.
And that's a nice rate. I mean, that's most.
Oh yeah, it's not
like
bad
BNIs are like a lot, 10 times more than
BNIs cost a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in a BNI?
No, but I visited a few.
Yeah, you got to find the right one. You got to find the right one. There's a lot of them. Not all of them are good fits for a videographer, I feel like.
Yeah. There's a lot of chambers out there too. In networking. So networking was one of the big challenges for you when you first started?
Yeah, just getting comfortable
because
with people.
Because you felt like awkward?
Yeah, because I hadn't had a lot of social interaction being when I was younger. That wasn't a huge challenge for me to overcome.
For sure.
It was difficult, but I mean, if I'm not facing difficulties, then what am I doing, right?
That's how you grow.
Yeah, that's how you grow.
Yeah. Challenges. That's how the harder the challenge, the better the I'm just making shit up right now.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, the better the fruits.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with that. I mean, if you're not struggling, and I feel like you learn through experience and you learn through trials, and those things together will create, a lot of fruit, as you put it. A lot of fruit. I think real life experience doing this stuff for as long as I did on YouTube really gave me a deeper understanding of how video works and why video works. You know, a lot of videographers approach video and they want something to look good, but they don't understand that every shot you get, every scene you get, every look that there is, it needs to be appealing. You watch any say like a Nolan movie or any good movie, you should be able to pause it at any point and look at the video and say, wow, that looks good.
They called that I forget the name, but I was gonna say cinematography, but
yeah,
I mean it's essentially that cinematography is, you know, good photography for every frame.
Exactly. Yeah,
and Joker killed it. Like they did a awesome job on that.
It was such a good movie.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it was so good and so bad. And
every
so good.
frame, every frame you could pause and it looks like it was a specific like
a piece of art,
like a
right?
piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that furthermore than that, even like colors, learning color theory is so important. Like why have complementary colors in a shot? People don't really understand that. Audio.
I think my art background really helped me understand that because I accelerated in art. Like I was the top art kid in my class graduating. Like I got an award for it. So it's like having all that fundamentals down, like because you learn how to frame, you learn the colors, you learn complementary colors.
Yeah. And learning, I think one of the bigger things also that sets me as a business apart is my investment in audio and how much time. You know, I spent 10,000 hours at least on the YouTube channel investing and learning how to do audio and video correctly. But it's interesting, you know, what good audio will do and how people don't realize like all the senses that are involved when watching a video. Like you got your visual, you have your audio, and it's like they have to tie together so well.
Yes.
Like the audio needs to be sweet. Like when I'm working on any video I do of myself, like I know exactly what frequencies in my voice sound appealing and which ones to turn down a little bit. And most people, they don't touch that. They just throw a microphone on the camera and say it's good, right? There's so much knowledge that you have to have in order. I mean, you can get it any video 90% of the way. I mean, most people can take a class and have like 90% of the way, but that last 10% requires a lot of just time, a lot of time. So
before I got into video production, actually, I was really deep in the music and I was producing music.
Nice. Yeah.
So I learned,
you understand audio.
Learned all of that, like the EQ, compression, and de-essers and stuff like that. But it's like I actually wanted to start an audio production company a few years ago, but like I just never really. I actually even got like a little course for it and everything, like how to do it. But then I just never really pursued that. I wasn't in the right position or the right time or place to really have a successful business. I've had lots of failed businesses actually.
I've completely stopped switching these cameras, by the way.
Oh no! Was it at least in the middle one?
It was in the middle one.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge without an assistant. Once I get one myself, to do that. That's why I was looking into the audio controlled switcher. I think there's actually a setting where if like two people are talking at once, where
will it go to the third camera?
It'll default to the third camera. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like that's huge, and I think automation is really big in our industry right now, especially like with Zoom calls and virtual meetings and all that. Like having everything automated is really big. Enough that if you can automate things to where you have like a one-man crew doing everything, then that keeps it cheap for you. It keeps it cheap for the client. And it's just a win-win-win all around. And so like something like that, I'd never heard of that. They call it, you said it's audio directed or something like that.
Yeah, and it's still like there's still like I had to do so much research just to figure out. First, I thought I was creating it myself. I was like, oh crap, actually. But then I thought like someone's had to done this before. Like I instantly after I had that thought, I was like, someone's had to have done this before. I go out there and look, and it's like my first search couldn't find it, but then I just had to dig a little deeper. Found some expensive. They actually have a board. They have one that's a board that you can get, but they also have just software ones. I was looking if OBS had it because OBS is open.
I love OBS.
Yeah, and like you can actually, if you're a coder, you could code it if you wanted to. But I'm not a coder, so I can't do that. But the board one that they have is like few $100s, and it's like I'm not trying. It's not too bad. It might have been around $5 actually, but but either way, it's like I'm upgrading this, I'm upgrading that. It's like man, I can't just keep upgrading when the show technically isn't even bringing in an income yet. Yeah. Like I have overhead already with the studio, so it's like. But I do see bringing in income very soon, and there's also like I said, there's secondhand income that comes in the form of business with Vehement Visuals.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, I mean, the fact that you're using this space as your office and you're able to run out of it, I think that's hugely beneficial for you.
And I love being downtown.
Yeah, right in the heart of things. So.
Yes. So I guess we could start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that you wanted to promote?
Ooh, you didn't prep me with this question.
I did actually. It's in the calendar link.
Okay.
We can look it up, see what you said.
I don't think I put anything in there because I don't remember. I would have remembered.
You gave some short answers.
Yeah. Well, it was like describe what you do, and I'm like video. I'm like
Yeah.
It's like I thought maybe it was so you can introduce me, but I'm like you know just as well as anyone.
And these questions are designed just in case I don't know the person.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. Exactly, that's what I figured. So that's why I was kind of short with those answers. But yeah, I mean, in terms of promotion, like I think. If I were to have anything, just shout out to the world.
Yes.
I think what I'd want to do is encourage people to really delve into the idea of improving their marketing because, we're talking about the potential, and I think that starts with people realizing that they have so much potential. Businesses here, there's so much heart, and there's so many good people in this city that run these businesses, and they have much more potential than they realize, and they just need to realize that and grow. And a lot of that's through positive, good marketing, and that could be with Andrew, with me, with any other marketing company. There's tons of good marketing companies here in the Springs, but like, I'd encourage you, question yourself. How do you do your marketing? How do you set yourself apart? Like, how do you, because if it's nothing, if it's just word of mouth, that's great. But you're not. A lot
of people die on that sword.
You're not reaching how many people you can.
Yeah.
So I didn't come on here to specifically promote anything. I mean, I love the concept of the podcast. I like what you're doing here. I think this is awesome. I'm not trying to sell myself or anyone else. Like,
sure.
I just want to come and support you with my face, I guess.
Yeah. And I like the podcast to really feel like a conversation, and I don't mind if we don't talk about business.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind that, but that's kind of the premise of the show. But it's also like in the description of that link that I sent you, even in that description, it says, yes, it's about business. And I give things that we can talk about your business, but I also say, I don't mind if we veer off of that subject completely. Yeah. Like, I want it to be entertaining as well. Informative is an important piece of it, but entertaining is the most important piece of it.
Yeah. And this is nice and relaxed too. Like, I think a lot of people might be intimidated to come into a situation like this. And I've been in front of cameras a lot.
For sure.
So maybe I have a biased approach, but like, I think this is like perfectly comfortable and relaxed. Like, if there's anyone watching this that's saying like, hey, I'd like to be on it, but I don't know. I used to be super shy. Like, I can understand the mindset behind that, but like, it's a conversation. It's just like having a one-to-one.
Yeah,
there's just a microphone in front of your face. It's
exactly.
kind of blocking. You can't really see.
And people do have that fear. I'm sure there's been someone who wanted to be on the show but didn't come or didn't send me a message or whatever because they're kind of afraid. There's actually just yesterday I was talking to someone. I was at Million Cups. I was like, hey, when you gonna come on the show? She's like, I don't know. I've already done this. I've done my fair share in the last week of being in front of people.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's cool too. So it's like, but I could just see like there is a little bit of fear of, especially if you don't know me. Like, I could definitely empathize with that. And so yeah.
Well, you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
You're not super scary. So
for sure. Don't let the face tat intimidate you. I wonder if that ever happens. If anyone ever gets intimidated by the face tat. I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
I think my spirit,
like
my
it's
energy.
A middle finger or anything.
Yeah.
It's just
I was actually gonna get that right on my forehead. No, I'm just kidding.
that might turn some people off.
Yeah. If I get like, but tattoos can have that can give that vibe to some people. It's funny because if you think about it, it's the color of your skin but you colored it yourself. But
it's the dangerous grounds you're walking into.
Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, I guess we can wrap it up. This has been the Colorado Springs Business Podcast here with Adam Oliver, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Adam might see you too if he watches it.
Yeah, I'll be around.
And that's all, and we'll see you guys next time.
This is how I always did. I always said, "Thanks for watching."
Thanks for watching. You're a YouTuber, man.